little fight on the landing ground.
Thank you for joining us. You are listening to A Radio, and this is The Morning Moment. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. Today I'm going to play a short clip from Sunday's CTV News Question period programme. For those of you outside of Canada, I don't think you can get this other than probably on YouTube, but what I'm trying to get at is this. Are the mainstream media in Canada breaking away quietly from Trudeau? Are there cracks beginning to appear on his hold on the media? Maybe, but surely I don't have to point out that we have another 2 years of this socialist crap to contend with. However, there is a consolation prize, and that will be undoubtedly the dethroning of the communist-in-chief in Ontario, Wynne, who has run a province as it's like her own kingdom. It's ironic what happened to the last country that dethroned a royalty, which strangely was replaced with 70 years plus of communist rule. An irony indeed. The Liberal Communists hopefully will be swept from office in Ontario and in the rest of Canada given time. But we can only hope that they are not replaced with yet another type of dictatorship, and that being of the NDP. And what I can find out from times prior to me being in the country, that the NDP were just as bad as the Liberal Communists, spending money they didn't have, spending provinces into oblivion, and really and truthfully being democratic in name only. That is the trouble with these lefties. They spend other people's money, and when it runs out, they run for the hills. How much more are Canadians going to take of this garbage before they set course on a more capitalist approach and a successful and prosperous one for us all? Take a listen to this clip, and as always there will be a link on my website.
I'll be even more cynical than Laura here. I think that this cabinet has to get off talking points. It has to get off talking points. We have a finance minister whose answers are la la la, and they're spending like drunken sailors. We don't know where the money's coming from. We don't know where it's going. We don't know when they're going to balance the books. We have no vision, no direction. What does the infrastructure bank eat for breakfast? We don't know that either.
Who pays the price for that? Does more know, do you think?
Well, I don't know who pays the price for it, but we may all end up by paying the price for it. That is the problem. Like, if they pay a political price, it's one thing. But if it's our children, our grandchildren, or the middle class and those struggling so hard to join it, whoever it is, I think that they have to get off their talking points. They have to be big boys and girls and answer the questions the way other finance ministers before answered questions. They should start doing that today.
Okay, you see that's the biggest challenge ahead, Joyce, for you. Biggest challenge ahead.
Okay, aside from the Canada-US thing, I think interest rates, we got to look at those. We got to look at them closely. We have a big debt. And I think that there are a lot of Canadians that are hanging on to their homes by the skin of their teeth. That's for the government. For the opposition, for the Conservatives, Andrew Scheer is going to crisscross the country to get his name out there so people will recognize him. That's a big challenge for him. He's an unknown, basically. That will be a big challenge for them. Biggest even challenge for the NDP, who don't even have a leader yet. That's going to be a big challenge for them. First of all, picking a leader, and picking a leader that people are going to care to get to know.
Yeah, I agree with that. That is a massive challenge. Laura?
Oh, well, my answer is actually a bit like Craig's, but I sort of flipped it. And I'm a little more cynical, Craig, I'm sorry, than you are. I think the biggest challenge is convincing Canadians, for the Liberals, that there's still this face of real change. And we've seen some moves this session that I think calls that into doubt. Questions about their infrastructure bank, having meetings with companies before this is even instituted, coziness with appointments. The Trudeau government trying to appoint a former Ontario cabinet minister as the official languages commissioner, and the backlash of that she had to drop out. As Steph talked about earlier, trips with the Aga Khan, and this question of whether the Trudeau government still represents real change and whether they still are the voice of the middle class, I think is going to be a big challenge for them.
Maintaining that we're different, we're new, that optimism. Yeah, that's right. Okay, Steph.
I'm going to knit this all together a bit, because I think it all comes together into one thing for the Liberals, and that's implementation. Right. This line about we're working hard to help the middle class and those who wish to join it. It's time to really prove to people that that is working in their favor. And it can no longer be this high-level discourse about we're going to make your lives better, so that when interest rates start rising and your kids can't afford a job, have the Liberals done something to actually help your kid find a job? And then for the Conservatives, the challenge becomes, how do they define their answer to these sort of existential questions and present concrete policy that people are willing to buy into that will, again, help their lives be better?
All right, I will just say the obvious one we all agree, NAFTA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the big one. The negotiating for NAFTA will be the massive challenge. I also think provincial politics will be a huge deal for this Trudeau government. If the Greens and the NDP actually get into power in British Columbia, what will that mean for pipelines? That's a big one.
You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you will find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, Gab, and email. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass on the links. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all my morning moments on Spreaker.com under A Radio. That's EHRADIO, A Radio. And please click on the like button. You can find all my podcasts and all my morning moments at aradio.wordpress.com. Click on the Morning Moments tab.